Hi there, this is Ideas on Truth, and I am Lisa Taylor. Welcome to the program. It is so nice to have you joining me. So tonight we're talking about trust. We're talking about trust the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Famous quote from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. So if you're looking at the spiritual import of that message, trust in the source of life, trust in the source of the universe, trust in the intelligence that made you, trust in love with all thine heart, trust in divine intelligence with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own, the false sense of ego, the ego's understanding. When we trust and we don't listen to what the five physical senses, the material world, the externals are telling us, and we trust that still small voice, then we are led in the right path. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him. In all thy ways acknowledge divine intelligence, divine love, divine truth. In all thy ways acknowledge the divine, and the divine shall direct our paths. So here's a little example of that. Actually, I didn't think I was going to share this, but I'm going to share this. I was driving down the freeway. I was in the commuter lane. My daughter was sitting next to me. I was, a little bit of a distance behind the guy in front of me. I was not tailgating. And all of a sudden, all the traffic stopped very suddenly, the way it does. And the guy in the lane to the right of me was about to hit the car in front of him because it stopped too fast. I guess he was too close. And he skirted right in front of, between that car and the guy that was in front of me. And I mean by a hair's breadth, did not hit the one in front of him or the car in front of me, and fishtailed through and out. The guy in front of me stopped or slowed down, saw what was happening and slowed down enough for him to get through. He didn't hit. So all of us were safe, and I was able to stop and pull back. And, you could look at that circumstance and you could say, oh, wow, that was really lucky. Or you could look at that and say, wow, there is an example of divine intelligence and alertness governing a situation and making sure that everything is aligned so that there isn't catastrophe. The guy driving the car who fishtailed and skirted had an awareness that there was a space there and was able to cut through. The guy to the side of him was aware of him moving. This all happened in the flash of a second. And I just felt really, really grateful afterwards that there is one mind, that there is one divine intelligence that is governing all. And when we are in tune with that, and that's a big when we are in tune with that, everything aligns rightly. When we claim separation from the divine, when we say that, oh, I got this, and we let the ego take control, we are separating ourselves from that divine intelligence, and we are saying, I have a mind operating all by myself over here. We're not in alignment with what's controlling everything. So in all our ways, when we acknowledge the divine directs our paths and keeps us aligned. And not only aligned mentally, spiritually, but as it turns out, in cars on the freeway. So anyway, I was really grateful for that experience and being able to witness everybody safe. And I was very grateful. So this whole idea of trusting, day by day the manna fell. It's like if we trust that our path is going to be governed, if I align myself and I'm in the flow, that everything is going to work out, and I can trust that. I don't have to know what's going to happen 3 weeks from now? What's going to happen 3 years from now? I don't have to know. All I need to know is this moment, because in actuality, the only thing that exists is this moment. So in this moment, if I am listening to my divine intuition, I shouldn't say my divine intuition. If I'm listening to divine intuition, I am being governed and I have everything I need in that moment. Day by day, the manna fell. We don't want, I always kind of joke about this, but we don't want all the manna to fall at once. We don't want the next year's worth of manna to fall today, because then you have to store it. You have to carry it from place to place. Wars will break out because people want to claim more for themselves than other people. If it falls every day, we have our needs met in every moment. So turn day into moment. Turn day into the now. Now by now, the manna fell. Now by now, every idea that you need in this moment you get. When you trust the divine intelligence, you have the ideas you need. You have the intuitions you need to go forward in the way that you need to go. Colleen, hello Colleen. So day by day, the manna fell. We get what we need every moment. Trust in the Lord, trust in the divine, trust in source with all thine heart. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about with all thine heart, living on your edge, living on the edge of your heart, living with whole hearts and daring greatly. Thank you, Brene Brown. Living with whole hearts, giving all for expansion, giving all for evolving, giving all for giving all for expressing all of who we are without holding back, without fear, without hesitation, without trepidation, without that filter that we put up to make sure people are going to like us or approve of what we're doing. Whole hearts, daring greatly, putting it out there, knowing we're being guided, knowing that the next thing that comes out of our mouth is the right thing, because we're listening and following. We're trusting in the divine. Trust in the divine with all your heart, and lean not unto what the outside 5 physical senses are telling you. Lean not unto thine own understanding. Lean not unto what the ego, fear, is trying to convince you is real. It's not real. You know better. You understand better. You know that what you understand from the divine intuition is what's real. You know that the ego is going to try to trick you, because the ego, as Marianne Williamson says, is a scavenger dog trying to take you down. So trust in the divine with all thine heart, and lean not unto the ego's understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, the divine, and the divine will direct your paths. That is my note. Trust. It's a big one. I love this subject. Thank you for joining me. Like this, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share this with those who you think might like it, and send me an email, ideasontruth@gmail.com. There are a couple of shows that I'm doing coming up that are answers to questions that people have sent in, or ideas that people have sent in, and requests to talk about subjects. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.